All righty. So today we have Sidra from Made in TO. It's actually one of the first on-demand maid services businesses in Toronto that was ever created. So I think you guys started about four years ago now or something, when nobody else was really doing this.
We're actually hitting 7 years in
Oh
April.
my goodness.
I
Wow. Well,
know.
I'm really old, so excuse my memory. Yeah, so
So am
we're 7 years.
I.
So yeah, thanks for joining us, Sidra. I really appreciate it. And basically, I guess I wanted to bring you on today to, I guess, give your opinion on basically how you started the business, how you fell into it, and yeah, tell us a little story. Tell us a little bit about how you started this and why you started it, essentially.
Sure. Thanks so much for having me. And yeah, we started Made in TO in 2015. My husband and my business partner and I started it while I was on maternity leave with our first kid, and we were having a very hard time trying to find a cleaning service that was based in Toronto and not based out of San Francisco or like somewhere on the West Coast. We had a few a few issues with some of the cleaning services that we had picked, and we thought that dealing with somebody locally would be better. And so, well, we decided to kind of start our own thing, and see how it would go, and it took off very well. And I was actually able to quit my job. So at the end
Wow.
of my maternity leave, I handed in my resignation, and
Yeah,
and
go
made
ahead.
it to you full time.
Yeah, that's amazing. So you guys started off 7 years ago because I guess you saw a problem in the
Yeah.
way, maids were, that whole business was being done. You had a pretty, I guess, some bad experiences, and you basically said, hey, I can do this better. And you started doing it
Pretty
on your
much.
own, essentially.
Pretty
Yeah.
much. I mean, we definitely saw a gap where there there was a middle person missing. We customers wanted somebody that was, that was local, that understood Toronto traffic, that understood parking issues, that understood the city itself. I mean, we live in such an amazing city, but it's got its own stuff, right? It's got its own issues and whatnot, and cleaners also wanted, somebody that would be able to kind of help them, like find cleaning jobs. And so we became the bridge that gapped the, cleaners and customers.
That's amazing. And something like that wasn't really being done when you guys started, from what I understand,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so you guys were one of the first ones.
Yeah.
A- And what was the process typically before Made in TO came? So if I wanted a maid, what was the typical process for somebody like me?
So there were two different types. There was, you could either go on Kijiji, Facebook Marketplace, which I think Facebook Marketplace at that time was still relatively new. So a lot of people were not really going there to find cleaners anyway. But Kijiji was one of the big ones. Even Craigslist. But I felt like when we had the conversation with our friends, a lot of people were telling us, "Oh, I found someone on Kijiji," or But the problem was that there wasn't a vetting process in place. So whereas for us, we background check and everything and make sure that you are getting somebody that is vetted by our company, or I'm sorry, by like a criminal record, and like background checked in properly. But there wasn't all of that, and so people had to kind of like really dig through and like do the interview process, call people up, and do test cleanings or have a cleaning done and then not be happy with it, and then of course then you don't have anybody backing that cleaning professional, in terms of customer service. Or you could go with a larger company, and they would, the problem with that we found from a lot of from our own experience and from our circle of friends was customer service, because it wasn't located locally, and it wasn't as intricately I guess customer centric as we became. You just kind of dealt with somebody in an entirely different state in the
Mm.
US. So
And even then, from what I understand, you had to like basically call the company, and then they'd have to send, I guess, somebody locally, and they don't even know, I guess, the culture, again, like basically what you mentioned, the streets in
right,
Toronto, and the best routes. But you guys came in and you created a website where you could just order a made on demand online, right? I think
right.
that was like the crazy part about it. I don't think that was it being done before? I don't think so, right?
No, not really. Like when we did our research, we there wasn't, and I remember at the very beginning a lot of customers being like, oh wait, what? So we just pay with our credit card online, and we're not charged until after the cleaning. How does this work? It was just like, it was very new. So basically you would go online, you would make the booking, we would get the booking and we would confirm and everything. But the change was that you could pick the time that you wanted somebody to come in and clean your home, and you had all these questions on there, like if you were going to be home to let someone in, or is there parking available, and then of course paying for the cleaning, and everything was very upfront. So you could essentially just book and be done with it, right?
Yeah.
And then if you needed a recurring service, it was automatically there. And so that was a game changer
Yeah,
for a
that
lot of
that's
people.
yeah, for sure. That was a really cool idea. You guys are kind of like the Uber of maids in a sense, right? So
That's what we
what
called
service?
ourselves back then.
Yeah, oh, you did. Huh? What did Uber try and sue you for that, or did you guys
I
stop?
mean, it wasn't really like we put it out there, but
Yeah, yeah.
we just kind
All right. All right. Hopefully Uber's not watching. Pretty sure they're not. So in terms of service areas that you guys target now, where do you guys service? Like what's the radius? Like I know you guys do obviously downtown Toronto, but any surrounding areas or anything like that?
So we're doing Scarborough, and we're doing Vaughan and Richmond Hill, and we're trying to expand out into Mississauga and into the Durham region. So it gets a little tougher because the houses get bigger, and things kind of change a bit, with those areas. But that being said, that's in the books for 2022.
Ah, cool. Exciting stuff. Okay. So 7 years ago, and then when I guess as soon as you started, we kind of climbed on board with you guys, right? To kind of
Yeah.
launch everything. Okay.
Yeah.
And what did like obviously I know what we did, but do you want to explain, I guess, what we did for you guys in terms of what service we offered and all that?
Yeah, for sure. So I think it was about 2 months in or so that we got you guys on board with us, and we had you guys do search engine optimization for us. And it's funny because I actually looked back into our the records and stuff, and it's been a while since I did, and we saw the growth, double within about 2 months. Like it significantly began to take off. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You guys really helped us out with that. So
Yeah.
and from there on, like it's only ever grown. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
mhm.
I mean, when you first like took on a marketing agency, like what were your expectations for something like that? I know you'd never started a business before, and this was your first time, so maybe you didn't have any expectations. I don't know. Did you have any goals in mind when you first started, or this was something that like, hey, I'm gonna try and do this and let's see where it goes?
So I think it's it was where we just kind of were experimenting with seeing where it goes. It was supposed to be more of a side hustle, extra business. I mean, extra income, and like when like our goals were, uh, we wanted to grow the business. We wanted to see where it could take us. We wanted to see if it had potential to be a full-time business. And it proved as such, right? So
Yeah.
we were blown away by how effective the SEO strategy was, and how it did bring it to that point where we were able to turn it into a full-time business. So idea was a side hustle, which turned into which turned into a full-blown business.
Okay. That's great. And then you guys aren't doing anything else. You guys are basically doing SEO, right?
Yeah, we are. We were running some ads in the middle, and in between throughout the years. And but everything was like in-house. We've done some Facebook marketing and some Instagram marketing, but like nothing extraordinary, like nothing with like hasn't been like a full uh Facebook or social media marketing plan set. We do focus on email marketing, so that's where we kind of drive a lot of our sales from our recurring clients, and
Mm.
the email list that we have. But beyond that, we haven't done any any real social media campaigns, but we do stay relevant on social media, or try
Yeah.
to. Yeah. But
Yeah.
SEO is where we've gotten the most action from.
Yeah. I mean, like, not to say that that's all you need, but it's interesting because I think you're one of the very few businesses that just focus on kind of that one channel of organic search, and you've been able to grow it so successfully. And I'm sure if you added other channels, like paid channels, more consistently, that, I mean, who knows where it could go, right?
Absolutely.
But yeah. Okay, yeah, I think that pretty much sums it up. I mean, what are you guys plans for? I know you kind of touched on it, but what are you guys plans for 2022 and beyond in terms of expansion, and what you guys have in the books?
Yeah, so I think our goals are to expand throughout the GTA, get more cleaning professionals on board. The pandemic kind of, as with any business, a lot of us were thrown off. A lot of us kind of dealt with the provincial guidelines kind of restricting our businesses. And so, I think for us for 2022, the idea is to just get back on track now to where we were for 2020, right? We were, on track to go big. So we're kind of picking up from where we left off, and taking on those goals again. It's, it's
And
it's been very interesting. It's been really interesting with a 2 year gap in between. But you know, I guess I should consider ourselves lucky that we have been able to get through this
survive.
pandemic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I know a lot of small businesses that couldn't survive, but
yeah,
yeah, we should all be grateful for that stuff.
yeah.
Um, and I had one more question, and it's totally slipped my mind. Yeah, I lost it. Forget it.
Oh
Uh,
no.
yeah, but I mean, I guess if people want to check out your website, do you want to tell them where to check out your website if they ever need a maid in the local Toronto GTA area?
Yeah, absolutely. So they can go to www.madeintio.ca, and everything's on there. They can make a booking, and we've got we'll be happy to to help them out with that. And we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter. There's lots of channels to get in touch with us, and yeah, we look forward to getting more business.
Yeah, great. And this was the question. How many cleaners do you guys have on board right now?
Right. So we've got 12 cleaners on board right now. And some of them, they work part-time, some of them are more full-time,
Right.
and yeah, but we're growing.
Yeah, that's always a good thing. Okay, thank you so much, Sidra, for taking the time to do this with me. I really appreciate it. I know you're busy. You probably got to get back to the family and work and everything else that you got going
It's
on.
all good.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll talk soon. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thanks so much for having me.
Okay, bye. Take care.